Hey guys, welcome. It is currently not windy and raining, but it's going to be like a little tornado going through because it's been super windy today. So that's been fun. Luckily, it's kind of died down at the moment. But if you didn't know, rain in an RV is really loud. It could be sprinkling, but it sounds like it's coming down like real loud. I miss being in a house and you would walk out and didn't even know it was raining. Hey, Brian. Hey, Warner. So if you want to comment and let me know you're here, I will give you a shout out. Also, any questions you have, be sure to drop them. I have a couple things I was going to talk about that have just come up, or that are coming up lately. So I'll be sure to do that. And then I also have a video, hey Jocelyn, of the shop build so far that I'm going to share. I figured out how to add a video to this stream situation. So I'm excited to share that a little bit. But yeah. It is happy spring. It's the first day of spring. Yee. Hopefully the weather turns around. Hey, Astria. Excuse me. I started drinking a canned soda. That was probably not a. These are good though. Probably not the best idea. Hey, we got Minnie Lumu, Moody's second. Hey guys, thanks for joining. So, I think it was freezing today. It's supposed to be that today was our last day of like below freezing. I've been watching the calendar because I have my garden and I'm ready to start planting, but I have to wait for the freeze to stop. Hey, Becky. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Sandy, Janet. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was meltables. Um, Watching from Italy. Hi, Teenberg. That's awesome. You're up late. I want to go to Italy so bad. I'm trying to make it work. I just need someone to watch my cats for like 2 weeks. I'll figure it out. Hey Ashley, about winning deals, Myra, SMW. So Meltables is coming up April 15th. The thing that is different this year is that your Meltables used to would just go for FBA only. This is only FBA. Your Meltables used to just go to your stranded, but now they're just going to straight dispose of them. So you want to make sure whatever inventory you have that's meltable that you take care of in the next 3 weeks before meltable season is over. Oh, Jocelyn said she'll watch get the shop situated enough. um Okay, so multiples. So, anyways, if you got that email, I'm sure we all got the email. There is a link there, and if you lost the email, you can just go ahead and search in Seller Central in the little search bar, search meltables, and it'll come up with the whole FBA like April 15th, October 15th. And in there, there's a link to download the SKU list or ASIN list. I just downloaded it on my phone. The thing is that you're going to have to like you could run an inventory report if you wanted to, or if you use like Inventory Lab or Seller Board, you could pull your inventory and do like a VLOOKUP. This is like for all the Excel nerds out there. I use Google Sheets, but you can do it there. You do a VLOOKUP and see what inventory you have that crosses. But yeah, so the thing about meltables is it might be like something like this has happened to me, a boxed chocolate cake, which is not made yet, so it's not meltable, but they have it flagged because it has the word chocolate in it. There is also in that same email, or if you type into Seller Central searching meltables, there's also a link where you can tell them like this, like basically make your case that this is not actually meltable. I've never really done it, but you can do that. The one thing about meltables that's awesome is that if you're going to FBM them, they actually go up in price, so they'll be higher price throughout the summer. However, there's going to be a price tanking that's going to happen right now as everyone's trying to get rid of their inventory that's in the warehouse before the multiple. You can always do a removal order and ask for it back, or you can price to move, which is what I typically end up doing. So just know that it's going to come down and then it'll start to go back up. But anything, I don't typically do any like straight chocolate, although you can. You just have to get like thermal mailers and put ice packs and all the things, because you don't want it to arrive to the customer melted. But if you, the things I tend to do are things like, chewy granola bars that just have like a little bit of chocolate on them. And then I just send them in a padded mailer and hope for the best. But I've never had any issues, so it's been working out. I don't do a whole lot. I haven't done the whole ice pack thing. But as always with Amazon, anytime you take that extra step, for other sellers like me who don't do that, you get that extra profit because you're one of the sellers who's doing it. So it's always a good thing. I just haven't taken that step yet. Maybe when the shop is fully built and I have room to store more FBM supplies. If you're watching in the chat, feel free to ask any questions there, and I'm going to go through and answer all your questions. Or we can chat and discuss also. This week, so another thing I totally forgot to talk about on the last one is I have a new podcast. So I'm really excited. It's been a lot of fun. I think this week is episode 7, so it's pretty new. I love listening to podcasts. That's all I listen to. I don't even listen to the radio anymore. I actually don't mind packing up my shipments anymore because I just binge through podcasts, and I actually get mad because I've listened to all the podcasts I like and I'm all caught up. So if you know any good podcasts, please drop those also in the comments. But I have a podcast if you want to check it out. If you want to be a guest on it, email me. You can email me at podcast@yoursellingguide.com, or you can email any that you have info or help and they'll get them to me. But I am wanting to interview Amazon sellers of all shapes and sizes. Like if you've been selling for a month or two, you've been selling for 5-10 years, just to get showcase everyone that Amazon is out there for everyone, no matter what your life looks like. You can make it work for you. So, big successes, small successes. I am excited to interview and get to know more of the community and put you out there to a wider audience if that's what you want, or you can just, be yourself and you don't have to share your socials if you don't have them. So anyways, I'm really excited. So you can check it out. It's called Your Selling Podcast. No. Am I back? I think I'm back live, right? I have, so I think the storm kicked off we have Starlink internet, and I think the storm kicked it off because my laptop just went to the AT&T internet. Anyways, I think I'm back. So, yeah, I have a podcast. Sandy says she's a new podcaster. Andrea, thank you for being a member, Andrea. She has an engaging question. Looking to ungate Lego and going through ASINs, does it matter? You can pick any Lego ASIN. Lori says, oh, I forgot I can do this. The podcast is great. I especially love the interviews. Thank you. So please let me know if you want to be on it, because I actually am liking the interviews a lot too, because the other episodes are fine, but they're just it's not really much different from my videos, except for you're just listening to me on the go. But I really like the interview part of it, and I want to make that a bigger thing. So thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Do you polybag snack bars, pretzels, and any snacks like that? I only if it looks like it might open, or if it's a bundle, like if it's 2 of them. Other Okay, now I keep going. Come back. Oh, polybag. It never hurts to polybag stuff. Like you can never over polybag something. Like if you are oh, Justice says I'm frozen. Ah, I guess the storm is not such a great thing to be doing this live and Brian has a question. So for beauty and personal, selling sheet has 110,000. So I've been going really high in a lot of different ranking items. Like I'll go up to like 400 now in beauty or even higher in some things. It depends on the product. Like if it's just gonna take a little bit longer to sell. But like high-end products, I had a lot of them last year and they would sell, but they're since they're a higher end and more expensive, and I'm not talking premium beauty, I'm not ungated in premium beauty. That's just like beauty brands like MAC that are premium brands, but they're not in that category. Anyway, so I would go higher in those kind of categories in ranks, and they would just knowing that they're going to take longer to sell. So it might not sell in 2 months. It might take 3 months, or maybe I'm FBMing them. But I've been having a lot of luck going in higher rank categories. The reason my cheat sheet is what it is like when you're just first starting out and you need to make money, flip your money more quickly than a seller who maybe is fine waiting 3 months to sell something. So that's why the rank sheet is for basically new sellers. It's like a guiding, like if it's in this category in this rank, it's going to sell within a month or two. You don't have to think about it, right? But if as you get selling, absolutely test out different things, because one of the things I did last year was test out different high ranks. Now you don't want to go test out high ranks and everything you buy, because you still need to have that mix. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of stuff that's just sitting there, and you're going to go, "Why aren't my stuff? Why isn't anything selling?" It's because you have all high ranks. So you want to have a good mix of anything. But yeah, that's if you've been selling for you feel like you've got an idea and you're comfortable with the ranks, like test other things, go higher. I don't sell in electronics category, so I don't have a clue how that would go. But it's like test things that you want to test out for your business. Don't go crazy. Don't tie up a lot of money in it, but always testing helps you to figure out like, hey, that is a good thing, and I'm going to go look into that category some more. There was a while there when it just felt like anything beauty wasn't selling. I feel like it was probably like 2019 or something. And um, I wouldn't buy it if it was under 100,000 because it felt like it wasn't moving. Marielle Market, love to be on the podcast. Yeah, email me. Oh, I've been invited to take. Sorry, I'm scrolling through your comments. I always feel bad for just staring at me while I read. I'm invited to the hazmat program. Is it good, worthwhile? I would, yes, enroll in it if you are able to. If you search in Seller Central and like search hazmat, I think there's a thing to like sign up for a wait list if you're not been invited but gotten an email about it. But I would. That being said, it's been a long time since I've ever actually been able to send anything in FBA doing hazmat, because it always ends up being flammable, and it's like you've reached your flammable limit and the limit is 0, so you can't send anything. I used to send in hair dyes, and what happens is instead of it going, just know that whatever it is, it's going to get its own shipment. It's going to go to its own warehouse, so it's not going to go with the rest of your stuff. So you want it to be worthwhile. Kind of like shoes. If you ever have shoes, those are going to go to their own warehouse, and so you want to have enough to make like a good size box. Otherwise, you're going to be sending two pairs of shoes, and if the profit's not right, your shipping is going to eat up all the profit. So it's going to go to its own warehouse, and excuse me, if I still have a bit of a cold, it's going to have only one label, and it's not going to be a shipping label. So you're gonna have to go and send it. Like I was driving around with this box in the truck for probably 3 months before I finally stopped at the post office and mailed it. But you'd have to go and mail it either either UPS or whatever. I just went post office. And then you're gonna check with them on special labels. It is like I was just talking about with the mouthfuls, it's a little more cumbersome, but there's sellers like me who drive around with the box, not shipping it for 3 months. So if you're gonna go do it, like it's worth it. But I have not had any that I've been able to send. The also bad thing about it is that it doesn't ever tell you, or at least for me, when I'm making the shipment, it's always like a surprise at the end. Like I've had like toner, clean and clear toner, which now I know is hazmat. It's going to be hazmat, but I guess I just wasn't thinking. And I've had weird facial things like that, facial products that are end up being hazmat, and but I don't notice it till the very end, and you get like an error at your shipment. Which, if you ever get an error at the end of your shipment, you know how frustrating it is. Like you just want to be done with it. That's the last thing you need. So I would definitely enroll in it, whether or not you use it. But it's always nice to have all your options. Strategies when shopping, and do you do much online shopping? I don't do a whole lot of online arbitrage. I tend to do it more. I do all my personal shopping's pretty much online, but for online arbitrage, I tend to do it more in Q4. If you are going to do it, I think tactical arbitrage is really helpful. They have a free 10-day trial. There's a link. It's like 7 days normally, but they gave me a link that has you get 10 days. It's expensive, that tactical arbitrage, so make sure if you're going to try it, you really set aside at least 3 days to really try it and dig into it, because it's a steep learning curve. But you can also manual source. So I manually sourced. I don't know if you guys all heard about the bank, the Silicon Valley Bank, last week, I think it was, that failed. And there in the article I was reading about it, I was going to point this out to you. This is a great example. You want to be aware of everything that's going on out there, and how it might relate to you and selling on Amazon. So I was reading this article just about the bank, and in the article, it told me there was a tour website that I've never heard of before, that their money is tied up in that bank, and so they're having a 40% off sale. So I ordered a bunch of toys at 40% off from the website I've never heard about, from reading an article about how the bank failed. So the same thing, Jocelyn recently shared a bolo in I think it was the regular bolo group. And I had seen that product before because it was an article I read talking about the best cleaning products that are going viral on TikTok. And so these people are putting together these websites of basically affiliate links to, like, here's this thing that's going viral on TikTok and you need to buy it. And so anytime you see those things, I don't spend a lot of time, if at all, on TikTok. And so I don't see what's going viral on TikTok, but I see that news articles are talking about it. And if it's going viral on TikTok, it's going to get harder to find, and then it's going to be selling a lot. So that you want to like be always observing your world around you of like what is out there and what is getting hot, because there was a product last year. It was another cleaning thing that went crazy, and it was some people in the bolo group were making crazy money. I made a lot of money. It was on my video that I did about best products. I made a lot of profit selling it. So you just want to be aware of different things out there. If you ever hear of stores closing, that doesn't mean like a great thing, but I would definitely check it out. I guess Bed Bath & Beyonds are closing. Some locations, I just saw one today in Tulsa that was closing. I don't normally source that store, so I'd still go in, but it's not something that I normally do. What's the other one? Tuesday Morning. But I think if they were closing, they closed already. But I don't know. But Google, don't take my word for it. But any kind of thing like that. As far as shopping strategies in general, I feel like I have a lot of videos and I say the same thing over and over. But I just tend to go, like at TJ Maxx and Marshalls, I go around the store. So I do all the perimeter. I don't really do the clothing in the middle, that kind of stuff. Okay. I'm going to go back. Okay, so the reason I brought up the podcast, I have to go to my notes, is that the meetup. So Becky and I recorded a podcast at the end of the meetup, and so that podcast will be out Wednesday. where we're just talking about the meetup and what happened, and then we just chit chat. You'll be like inside of our. This is us like knowing we're being recorded, so it's like we chit chat and go off the rails a little bit. But so that's exciting because that's coming out, and then the following Monday I'll have the full video of on this channel of the meetup. But the early bird pricing for the Michigan meetup is up, so it's $45 for early bird pricing because we kind of know what we're going to do, but you're basically getting the deal if you're going to go. So it's on Rapid City, Michigan, May 20th. I'm really excited because the last one was fun, but I feel like this one's going to be even so much more fun because we're looking into things like escape rooms to do, and then we'll do the happy hour, dinner, drinks afterwards. But I'm really looking forward to it. I was just looking around downtown Grand Rapids. I think that's where it is. I think that's what I said a second ago, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it just looks really cool. So May 20th, hopefully there won't be any snow, but if there is, we'll just figure it out. So if you're in the Midwest, this is my Midwest meetup. I'm not going to go anywhere else in the Midwest this year. Maybe not go back next year, but I tried to pick a place that everyone can drive to because everything's real close up there. I have been through all the states. If you've ever driven through Texas, it takes 2 days, but in the Midwest, you could get anywhere in like 4 to 6 hours. So hopefully you guys will come join us on that one. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the tickets are at yoursellingguide.com/meetup. You can see photos from the last meetup and get your early bird tickets there. And you could go sourcing there. It's another reason I picked that bigger place. So you can go sourcing if you want. You can make a whole trip out of it. You know, keep those business expenses and your receipts and all of that. Excuse me. You don't mean to keep doing that. All right, going back through the chats. I have to go up a little bit. John, how did you overcome capital bottlenecks in your business? It is real frustrating. It did happen a slight bit again this last Q4, just because I was getting my credit cards like to the max, and I was like, okay, like I need to maybe reel that in a little bit. But my first Q4 is when it really happened, and it was really hard because you only have what you have, and so I had to wait 2 weeks while Amazon was going to pay me out again because I don't think I was taking the payouts. You just have to like buckle down, and that's when you really only buy. Like other times of the year, I'll be like, oh, I'll buy that and test that, and sure, let's get that, and it's not that great of a ROI, or it's not that great of a profit, or the rank's really high, but it looks good and I'm going to test it. And if you get to doing that a lot, you're going to like have to reel it in and really only make good buys. So it does kind of force you to make smarter decisions with your money, which isn't always a good thing when you start, but that's how you can, that's the only reason I've ever been able to, like, you have to like, okay, I only have X amount of money, so I have to make smarter decisions with that money to make like things that are going to flip faster, all that kind of stuff. Andrea, question about ungating toy brand. Does it matter if I find it listing? You don't have to list anything you buy to get ungated. You don't, like, the listing just has to match. It should be the same product, but if for whatever reason it's not, it just has to match enough that Amazon thinks it's the same product. Which sometimes it just depends. Amazon is Amazon, and sometimes they're real hard. There was times, I think it was a year ago, when the OTC category, it was taking months for them to approve everyone, and then there's times now where it's like, I think someone got auto ungated recently. Always ask for approval. Even if the worst thing is, it's happened to me, is when you place an order and then you get it and you're like, oh great, now I'm ungated, and it was like, what was that for? So definitely always ask even before, but yeah, you don't have to list what you're buying. Lisa, do you polybag books? I don't sell a lot of books, but I do polybag them when I do. Oh, see, you guys, I'm real bad. Premium beauty versus regular beauty. So premium beauty is that, you'll see it's like red restricted. It's things like Rusk, I think is the name brand. It's like all those really fancy name brands at TJ Maxx. It's just a different category. and it's pretty much gated for everyone. I don't even think you can get ungated in it. I have heard of sellers because it's Amazon, right? You can do anything. I have heard of sellers who've been able to get ungated in premium beauty, just like auto ungated, which is crazy, but very far and few. For FBM, do you purchase shipping label with Amazon? Yes. Excuse me. And the reason is it's a little bit cheaper because Amazon has these whole corporate accounts with the different shipping people. That's why UPS is usually cheapest even than post office in a lot of ways. But if for whatever reason the shipment gets lost, a porch pirate steals it from the customer, if you bought your shipping through Amazon, you will get reimbursed. The customer will get reimbursed and you'll get reimbursed, and Amazon will get their money from the shipping. So UPS or whoever it was, they'll get their money back there. So if you didn't buy it from there, you would have to go to the post office and make a claim, or a UPS. And if there's ever any A to Z claims, which is when the customer has an issue and they that's the A to Z, it's covering the customer. So if that ever happens, it also helps you with those. So it's just all around, there's a lot of benefits to it. If something happens, so I had a customer want to return something that was apparently considered hazmat. So I had to buy a label through, I use stamps.com, but if you use pirate ship or whatever, I had to buy a label and download it as a PDF. I put my address as the to and the from so that there was no way it was going to get lost. And then I sent it via the chat to the customer and said, you can use this label. And then there's ways, like there's different things. You can charge a restocking fee. You can charge, I tried to make them pay for the shipping, but it wouldn't let me. And so I just ended up refunding it. But the thing came back to me in totally new condition. And so it was fine. I could just resell it. But yes, I always recommend for Amazon to buy them through Amazon. It's 1 month your expected time for newbies to actually start getting sales. Yeah, because especially FBA, because your stuff has to get there, and if you didn't necessarily buy stuff that's selling, off the truck, then it's got to move around and become available. So if you're a new seller, like you've already gotten some sales, so that's awesome. But before you start getting anything back, it's gonna take it literally takes 4 to 6 weeks before you'll ever start seeing any kind of payout from Amazon. You might get $50 here, but at the end of it, if you're selling 3 things, all that's really happening is whatever profit you made is kind of going towards your next month of professional seller fees and your Amazon fees. And so it's super, super, super frustrating. A lot of sellers quit because it doesn't seem like it's going to work. And there's people out there telling you it's easy and you can do this and flip it and da. But it's not. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of patience and so much frustration. But it does work, even on a limited budget. Even if you can't source all the time or you don't have a lot of money to source, it will work. You're just going to have to be patient and let it do its process. Keep testing different things, keep learning different things. Learning Keepa right off the bat is one of the best things you can do so that you know how to look at the rank, how to look. There was someone on Instagram, I can't remember who it was, but she posted, it was like how to, like in an instant, see if an IP is going to happen on a product using Keepa. And it's because the chart of offers is like this. And then all of a sudden it goes like this down to one offer. So everyone on that date got kicked off of it. And that's probably an IP, right? So it's just things like that that Keepa can teach you if you learn to read the charts right. There's so much extra. It's like finding one product to sell in the very beginning it takes so much time, and just know that it'll get easier. Like you can go down the aisle scanning things after a while and won't even have to click through the profit. You'll just be able to see like real quick. It does get better. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep sniffing. I'm just okay, we did the meetup. Multiples. I'm going through my chats again. The other thing, only the flip sides to walk through in the warehouse is that I have a birthday sale. My birthday's on Friday. I have a sale officially starts on Wednesday, but the code is already up. So it's 35% off everything on my website. So the Bolo group, the ungating guides, the bundles. So if you want to get the big bundle, you save 35% off of the already bundled low price. So you save even more. The beginner course, if you want to get started selling on Amazon, the beginner course, I think it comes out to like $227 or something. So the code is BDAY23. So like 2023 is a year. So BDAY23, and you save 35% off. It is live. If you go to the store, the shop all part of my website, the code is up there. So you'll be able to see it there. But yeah, so that's happening. It happens all the way through Sunday. So the 26th, I think it is. And this is like the biggest sell, like it's the most percent off I ever do. I always do it every March on my birthday. So if you are needing any of that kind of help for your business, or you want to join the Bolo group, it's locked in for the whole entire time you're in the Bolo group. The price, I think it comes out to $58 a month. So Brian, I know you left, so you could come back in for cheaper if you want. So you can't get Ungated and Premium Beauty. Sorry, I shouldn't even have brought it up. It's like LOL dolls. You can't get Ungated in it, but regular beauty stuff you can. Okay, you guys are all chatting. Oh, let's see. Elnora, live in Texas, 2 miles from Mexico. Yeah, 3 days to get out of. It's crazy. Let me go down to the more recent one. Yeah, 23 means I'm 23 years old. I wish. No, I don't wish I was 23. Maybe just 30 again. For the Bolo group, no, it'll be every month. 35. It's locked in. So as long as you're an active member of it. For those of you in the speakeasy, it doesn't work on that because that one's not live on the site. So yeah, thank you, Godzilla. That's a funny name. You would have to cancel it and rejoin it. Like it's a lot of things. But technically, yes, you can. But we're not gonna like reimburse you or whatever. So if you happen to have where your date is coming up right now anyways, then it would work. But we're not gonna like back do it. So it's only new purchases, nothing if you've already purchased it. I'm sorry. Do I include packing slips for FBM shipments? I do not. I think that you might have to, but I have never because I didn't know how to do it. And so I only learned like a year ago that you're supposed to. So I don't. It's never been a problem. If you do, just be aware that your SKU prints on it. So if you create SKUs like I do, or I do like WM $7.99 break even, if your thing says I got this at Target and it was this much, it's going to show that up on the packing slip. So just be aware of that. FBM only. Otherwise, your SKUs don't show up. Amazon asked me to match the lowest seller on 2 items, but how much? So there's a difference between Amazon asking you or them telling you. So if you get those emails that say like, you're not making it in the buy box or featured offer, or you need to price it, or we recommend you price it. Those are just garbage junk emails. You don't have to listen to them. I would not listen to them. Amazon's thinking of the customer, right? Obviously they want the customer to pay less, but you're running a business and you need to charge what you're going to charge. So those ignore. If you get the price cap email, which this has been coming up in the groups a lot, the price cap email, luckily now when you list something, it tells you if that price is too high. It's like reading it and it tells you like you're not gonna be able to list that. But if you happen to, like I did, reprice yesterday and I got a deactivation, then you have to go in and set your min and max. And every seller is gonna, this is what's been coming up in the group, every seller on it while you get it, like say you were selling at $29.99 and there's other sellers at $29.99, but you got hit and they clearly are still selling at 29. They're gonna get hit too. It's like a slow rollout because it happened to me and I was like, what the heck? They're selling it for more. But then the next day, guess what? That seller wasn't selling it for that anymore. They had to come down too. So it's gonna roll out across the board. So that's only if Amazon's doing the price cap thing. If they just want you to lower it, you don't have to lower it. Uh, that kid, no. Congrats on being the new seller. It is like a hard time, I think, overall at the moment, because that's been another frustration that I've been hearing in the groups. Um, I recommend like clothing is good if you can sell Carter's kids clothing like at Ross. It's usually cheaper than at TJ Maxx, but they have them at both places. Crafts type stuff, if you can sell that kind of stuff. You can sell home, you can sell like what is it? I'm blanking. You can actually sell some toys. Home stuff, kitchen stuff, that's what I was thinking. So if you go through those Walmart aisles, I always recommend the clearance aisle at Walmart because not that it's gonna be like a lot of things you can find, but it has this a huge variety of categories on one aisle. So you're able to see, oh, I can sell this. Like you might be able to sell automotive or those kind of things. I'm not sure. Sometimes they're not, it's gated, but you might be able to sell. I used to sell my first shipment had Minions like car, the window thing to keep the sun out. I sold that in one of my first shipments. I sold insoles, um, beauty, like toiletry bags. Like you just, it literally is kind of just pick an aisle. Kohl's is having their 50% off clearance sale again. I'm not sure how long it has been going on or will continue to go on, but that may be another place to just kind of go through and scan different things. But you guys can please feel free to chime in. Oops, what are you categories recommending for new sellers, or did you sell? The Q4 Bolo group will be open in September. I think I'm going to open it a little bit earlier in September this year because Q4 really starts then. But it'll be, so it might be late August, but sometime in September. I don't use a repricer. I did sign up for Be Cool for their free trial, and then I never did it, and the trial ended. That's why I say if you're going to do a free trial, make sure you set aside the time to actually do it. But that is the Be Cool. I've not used it yet, but that is one that I'm going to eventually test out. I think next week I'm going to sit down, like give myself an afternoon to do it. If you're going to do a repricer, just make sure you're not penny dropping, not matching. Actually, a lot of good repricers now, they will price your stuff up higher. So just make sure you watch all the videos and all the YouTubes and find someone who you know, like, and trust to teach you it well, because you don't want to be someone who's just dropping it. I was like, do I recommend oops, a refrigerator? I was like, sure. Do you recommend a repricer? So I don't, the Be Cool is the only one I know. I know Becky has been testing it and she really likes it. Excuse me. Oh, this camera moves. I forgot. It moves with me. Oh, good, Lori. Thank you for sharing. She dug into Be Cool. Be Cool. I hope I'm saying it right. And buy box went up 30%. That's what I heard. Becky said the same similar thing. So hopefully. This I've heard of Bluegrass Profits. Selling for a year, everything good, no cancels, not eligible for FVM. This happened to one other person in the Q4 group last year, and I still don't know. I don't know. He kind of stopped selling, so I don't know that it ever got resolved. That is a weird one. If anyone knows, feel free to comment. Esther recommends a refrigerator. Okay, I'm gonna do the video of the shop. You guys, I got so excited because I was like, I can't go out there and film while I'm doing this. Okay, let me see if I can figure this out. Yeah, yeah. Okay, this would be like me talking over it. So this is it from the outside. There's no doors on it or anything. We're gonna cut out and do windows. Um, but this is it from the outside. So on the back side, you'll see here in a second, it has like a little RV port, so you can park an RV back there outside, and it's got like a cool view of the creek over there. Got two pass-through doors right here, so I think they're 14-foot high. So the RVs can pull into there. So if it ever gets like freezing cold or really hot in the summer, apparently the inside we're gonna like foam it or whatever. I don't know much about this stuff, you guys. This is not a building YouTube. Um, it's gonna be foam so that any time, like if it's 100 degrees outside, it should only be 80 inside. The doors will be black and have windows so that light will come in. That's in the big back area. There's also going to be like a loft, a laundry room, a little kitchenette, an office. We're not really sure what we're doing with the loft yet. And then the front part, this littler part here, which I'm moving the mouse around like you can see it. But anyways, the littler part there, that's my shop. So that's where I'm going to be packing up shipments. That's where I'm going to be filming, doing the podcast. And then I have something else I'm working on for part of it. That is TBD. I will let you guys know how that goes. And it has this under porch, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to get like a little day bed and like just be able to sit out there and be like a real working office. Okay, so then the video continues. So this is the RV part, port. On the back side, I'm walking, so it's shaky. Plus everything's all, winter and dead. So just imagine, this is why I moved to Tulsa. It's like green and pretty and hilly. And then you go through this back door. And then it's got the big old shop. So that's the big shop where we're gonna renovate RVs or just be able to pull in an RV there. This area here, if I stop moving the camera. Sorry. So this area is where there'll be like a laundry room off to one side, an office the other, and then there's gonna be like a loft across the top. So the loft could have, it's not gonna be anything right now, but it could be like I don't know, a bedroom or something. Could put stuff up there. But there'll be a full laundry, a little kitchen, just like a fridge and a sink, nothing special. And then this beyond here is my little shop, and I think it's 30 by 45 or something. Or no, 35 by 40. It will have a full closed wall, and it's going to have a door in the middle that you like an entryway front door that you can go through. I'm going to walk through where the wall is going to be. But my idea is that these will be two big sliders, and then my recording space will be that corner right there. It's going to be like my desk and everything. And then this half is the half I'm going to do something with. It's got windows being put in. And then I step outside and show you the just cover. I don't know what I was recording this for, but anyways, outdoor cover. We live in a little town, and already like people have been knowing we're gonna do this for like a year. We've only been living here for like a year. And the neighbor was like, oh yeah, that's a nice shop. Like that's great. They did a great job. So I think they're like, oh yeah, the property values are going up or something. It's really funny living in a small town. Especially like I'm from a small town, but I knew everyone in that small town, or they all knew my dad. This is different. I don't know anyone. It's different. But they all know us. So that's the shop tour so far. That is not a future home, although my RV might move into it. I'm gonna maybe build, I have to see. Everything's getting a little crazy out there. Build a little farmhouse where the RV currently is, and then even that wouldn't be my future home because they'll probably Airbnb that out. But eventually, I'm gonna build a big house up on the hill over there. So that might be a couple of years away still. Yeah, it's a barn. It isn't it? It's a barn dominion, like the part, like I'm gonna make it real nice and look like a little farmhouse in the parts that are finished. The other part's gonna be like, you'll be able to see the foam, they'll have plywood, it'll look like a shop. But my little area is gonna have full drywalled in, um, and hopefully look really nice. I'm excited about it. I've been since breaking my leg, I've been basically working from the bed because I just realized it was comfortable. I have like a little lap thing and I literally just work from the bed. But my office you've seen in the videos, excuse me, is my dinette, and it's like really hot in the summer, freezing cold in the winter. And so I'm excited to just have like a real desk. I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to start shopping for a desk now. But yeah. All right, going back to your guys' questions. The other thing I wanted to talk about. So if you watched my tax video, the income tax video, Amazon changed the name of the inventory valuation report. So it's called inventory ledger now. It's not, you don't have to go to show more. It's just it's the very first one. And you do the summary, you can do the month summary, and you just want December. So if you were wondering about that, that got changed. And that report shows you your inventory at any point. But if you had inventory in the Dallas warehouse, the Dallas was AFW1, technically I think called Fort Worth warehouse. It seems to be closed because Becky mentioned that hers was a lot of bras, mine was underwear. So I feel like that's kind of what it was. I had a couple lip glosses there too. But to pull that inventory ledger report to know what you had there. So on December 13th, they had some kind of weather situation. And then early March, they emailed us, if your stuff was there, that it basically is destroyed, or they're going to let us know. On April 13th, they'll let us know what they're going to reimburse you. So if you want to know if you had anything at that warehouse or any warehouse throughout the year, there's been another time something happened. We can't remember where it was, but I think it was, I don't know, maybe Tennessee or Ohio or something. There was another warehouse that got ruined or something happened. And anyways, if you ever want to know at any point if you have stuff in a warehouse, so you go to your inventory, so reports, fulfillment reports, and inventory ledger, and then you're going to want that. It's the very first one on the side there. I updated my blog post that has photos of it if you need to see it. The report, you want the summary view, and then it will tell you the fulfillment center location, so you can put in the location, which was AFW1. You want it monthly, and you want to know what you had there in December, because that was when the event happened. You can disposition any, because you just want to know what it was, and then you can do the exact dates again so you can do December 13th, or you through today. I highly doubt that they've been moving anything, but I pulled it yesterday and I was relieved because it was not as bad as I thought. Actually, those underwear have been the bane of my existence. Like, they have just been a bad buy that won't go away. And so now I'm like, sweet. Like, if they got ruined and they're going to reimburse me, just be done with it. Those are all my talking points. So now I'm going to go back through the questions. That loft's going to be my future home. Abby, the free guide, if you email help at your selling guide, Jocelyn just tagged that. She can send it to you, and we can check if something happened with the email. The comment. I just got hit with my first customer. I have receipts, but they don't show the marketplace physical address on them. Yeah, so I've been able to, just with regular receipts, so it's going to be a little tricky if it was like a real premium brand like Adidas or something. But I've always been able to show just like a Target receipt or whatever, Kohl's, wherever you got it, and say, this is the ASIN for the thing. I bought it from them, like in my snarkier moments, and like, unless you're selling, this was to the brand, unless you're selling counterfeit stuff to TJ Maxx, well, it's not counterfeit. But I would just go through the process and keep going until it gets to resolve to where it's not affecting you, and it might be an annoying long process. But just send the receipts you have. Oh, thank you. That's nice of you. Okay, going back. Lisa said she got auto approved for everything, that she was just gonna get an order to get approved in. Uh, that's weird that they wouldn't tell you why you're not eligible. I would I mean, you should probably already done this, but even just delete them and relist them. Mm-mm. The Q4 group is different than the regular Bolo group. Yeah, so it's only for Q4. It's open. So I'll just do last year's date. So I think I opened it around the 15th of September, and then it was closed like by October 3rd or 4th or something. So you couldn't join it anymore after that. So it was just you join in the beginning, and it's a one-time payment, and it was good for all. It'll be 4 months, so you'll be in it for 4 months. We do lives. It's not necessarily two every month, but it comes out to basically two live hangouts every month. So we do them over Zoom because we have a lot of members, and we basically just like talk like this. Only you're hearing from other sellers. So if you're in the regular Bolo group, just another reason maybe you want to join it. So the regular Bolo group, if you join it and you're in it for 3 months, you share good leads. You're a contributing member. Your leads are valid. It's all that kind of stuff. You share them on time every month. Then after 3 months, you can apply to be in what I call the Speakeasy group. So it's like a secret group, but it's the RA100 group. And that group is very similar to the Q4 group. We have a live tomorrow where we're all going to chat and just talk about all different things. I learn a lot every time. I know other sellers learn a lot every time. So I'm always learning from other sellers. So it's like that. That's what the Q4 group is. Only we're sharing, leads throughout all of Q4. So it's a really fun time. I greatly enjoy that group. We always have a lot of fun. I introduced last year holiday parties. So I gave away over $1,000, probably over $1,500 worth of stuff like Rolo printers, $500 cash, and I just gave away during the holidays. So we had a Halloween party and we had a Christmas party. So just all those kind of fun things. I am excited. I wish it was Q4 every year because obviously Q4 or all around here is because Q4 is the best time to sell. But it's just like it's just a lot of fun. But I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Okay. What other questions do you have? Y'all are chatting back and forth, which is awesome. I'm just trying to catch up. Is there an algorithm for the buy box? Yes. They're not going to ever tell you it. I have a video on it. It's called How to Win the Buy Box. Price is one factor, and it doesn't necessarily matter if you've seen a lot of sellers winning the buy box at higher. It more matters if your product is available, so it's not transferring around the shipments, and it's going to get to the customer fast. So that's why FBM is winning buy boxes right now. Oh gosh. Because they're getting it faster than a lot of FBA sellers have it. So if your stuff's moving around the warehouse in FC transfer, it's not going to be available to the customer to get it right now. So an FBM seller might win the buy box. And then if you're going to get it to them faster than someone charging maybe $1 less, you also might win the buy box. So it's all about getting it to the customer fastest. So Amazon, if you haven't noticed, is all about making sure their customers are happy. That's why they take everything back. And so whatever's going to make the customer happy, which is getting it fast, getting it there for free shipping if possible, or the cheapest shipping option, which a lot of times it used to be that FBA was that, but now the FBA is getting slower and slower, and they're have more incentives, like less fees on stuff if you do FBM. They're really incentivizing that push to FBM. So if you haven't done FBM, I would really recommend trying it, especially now because we're getting into the slow season. So June, if you did not know, June is always just retail overall a really slow season for retail. So your sales will go low. Um, Obviously, you're still going to sell stuff if you have those everyday staples that people are buying year round. You're going to sell them, but in general, your sales just slow. So if you were planning on taking a break or vacation, June is the ideal month to do that because your Amazon business is already going to go slow. You're not really going to be missing out on a whole lot. Sourcing tends to slow down a little bit, but then right as July hits is when back to school starts, and that's like the unofficial start to Q4. So back to school is a great time to sell. So all that to say, we're getting this slow. So if you're trying to learn something, now through June is a great time to learn. So if you wanted to learn online arbitrage, if you wanted to learn a software, start using something, make a bundle, try FBM. Now is the time to try it because FBM is really big, and I know because I was super scared to do FBM, and I know a lot of you guys are scared to do FBM. Things are going to happen. You might make a costly mistake, but you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to realize how much fun FBM really is and how much money you can make. And it tends to hit your account faster because Amazon's paying you your money based on when the customer got their order, and when you get your customers' orders, that you get the money faster. It just feels like you're getting the money faster in your account, whether or not you actually are. It definitely feels like you are. But yeah, I really recommend FBM if you are not. I have a video, FBM 101. Just copy my shipping template, just do a free one. Charge a lot for standard and charge a lot for expedited, just in case something goes wrong. That not only is it making this buyer not buy expedited, also check your shipping templates if you already have them because someone in the group, Amazon's been changing stuff, and someone in the groups got an expedited order, and she was like, I know I didn't have expedited on there, and it was like toggled on. So check your shipping templates because I listed something last week, FBM, and it had like Mexico checked on, and I was like, what? Like, and I had to uncheck it off. So Amazon's doing some crazy stuff right now, but just make sure. But yeah, if you copy my free template, you can charge $19.99 for expedited plus $1.99 a pound. That way you're just like super covering it. Always at the very top, there's like this little toggle. When you're first making a shipping template, I can't remember exactly what it says, but if you toggle that thing off, it makes all those other like little boxes where you're like, say how you're gonna send it, and you do like you have to click them off. It makes that go away and it goes to the old way. That way, I'm like, the video probably covers this more, but that way is like this way that Amazon like figures out to tell the customer when they're going to get it. It just creates hassle because then you're going to have 2-day on and you'll have overnight on, and you do not want those on unless you know how to do FBM and you do want them on. But when you're starting, you do not want overnight and you do not want 2-day on. It is only going to cost you like a lot of money to ship it, and you're going to be like, yep, nope, never doing that again. So turn those off for sure. If you see it where it doesn't let you turn off 1-day or 2-day, that's what it is. So at the top right under the name, there's like a little toggle. You want to toggle that off. Is there a part that... Yes. I don't know where it is off the top of my head, but I did do a video on it. If you know the specific item that you're looking for or the order, you can search in Seller Central at the top search bar. You guys, if you didn't know, you should search Seller Central like you're searching Google. Don't ever click on the forums unless that's the only option. You don't want the forum answer. That's just people discussing, and people are kind of mean there for whatever reason. But if you can get like an actual Seller Central help like document, like something on Amazon. But if you search reimbursement, there's a pop-up screen where you can either put the ASIN in or the order number, and it will tell you. Let me see if I can go over there. Yeah, so there's a reimbursement report. Okay, it says, how do I drop this in the chat? It's in payments, transaction view, filter by other, balance adjustment, FBA. Oh, it looks like Lori had some. Sometimes Amazon checks in your stuff wrong, and you sent in 4, but now you have 40. Usually it will figure itself out, even if you see sales come through. Like they just found stuff I saw on my seller board that I got hit with. I was like, why is my profit so low this month? I mean, I know I'm not selling a whole lot this month, but I don't think it should have been that low. It was because they reversed some reimbursements that they did. And then when I was repricing yesterday, I saw all this Christmas candy. So they clearly found some of my stuff, and so they take away the money that they reimbursed you and they give you your product back, which sucks because it's that. But normally if there's ever like those discrepancies where they checked in 40 instead of 4, they will work themselves out, and they will there's nothing you have to do or can do really, because if you try to talk to them they're going to be like, what? No, we know what we're doing and we counted it right. But it'll like figure itself out. I do not do private label, but I do have friends that do, so I'm trying to get them on the podcast. Private label is a great method. It's like, I know some sellers do retail arbitrage first just to get to know Amazon, and then they'll go through private label. But it's great. Like if you have the time and want to do it, it's kind of similar to like I want to do bundles. It's like, but obviously different because I'm not putting all my stock into this one product or whatever that you're doing private label. But yeah, it's a great model to go if that's what you're interested in. Any other last minute questions or comments? I think I got them all. How do you send it all in one box? If you do inventory placement, which you're gonna have to pay for that, but if you go to your settings and it's FBA settings at the top there's inventory placement you can check on. I can't remember what the fee is per item, but it will send it to less warehouses. And I only recommend it if I've never actually done a shipment like that, but I would only recommend it if you're starting out and you have not a lot of product to send in, so it can save you on fees, but you still might be sending it to 2 different ones. I don't do I don't do eBay yet. I will say yet because I want to. Because I have a lot of stuff that I couldn't sell on Amazon in my shed that I need to move through. Yeah, so I've been doing FBM. Honestly, this year I've been doing more FBM than FBA, because I was selling a lot of cold medicine and that stuff that you gotta do it fast. Like it's not gonna be at that price for long. So those are the kind of things I tend to do FBM. I did just send in a shipment. The UPS guy picked it up for FBA today because I'm kind of over FBM. It's just been a lot of it this year. I don't mind. It's like I don't the when there's only like 1 or 2 orders a day, it's just more annoying than anything. But when there's like 10 or more, then I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's not like a little gnat that's something I got to do for the day. Anyways, but I just needed a break from so I actually cleaned out a lot of stuff that I had in the shed that the price seemed to be holding, and I ended up sending it in to Amazon because I was just didn't want to try an FBM. But for groceries, I have heard, I don't know if this is true or not. I've a little bit experienced it, that grocery for whatever reason doesn't move as fast FBM as it might FBA. I know I had some coffee that is not moving, so it might be. Thank you, Sandy. Myra, do you need a business number or business CC to start FBA? You don't technically need anything. If you can open another free checking account, just it can be a personal checking account. You want to have everything separate, totally separate. So if you have a credit card you haven't used in years, you can say this is now going to be my Amazon credit card. Just for tax reasons, you want to have everything separate. You don't want any kind of personal mingling. It's going to make your life a lot easier come tax time, or if you give it to a CPA to do your taxes. So you don't need a business license. You don't need an LLC. You can be a sole proprietor, which is just you doing it. You can use a personal checking account, whatever you use, just completely separate. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully next month I will have a little bit more to the shop, but I honestly don't know because there's some things going on behind the scenes that we gotta wait for. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to shop the birthday sale if there's anything you need to grow your business that I can help with. If you want to be on the podcast, send me an email at podcast@yourselling guide.com, or you can email me, Nikki, NIKKI@yourselling guide.com about the podcast. Thank you. Good night.